how to get these done. Coming up with topics for me was nothing. It's something I do. I'm a producer for shows, so I know how to come up with topics. I know how to call around people, to send stuff to people. It's just know how to make it better. I was on a network before doing it, and I did not like the sound. And I said, no, I don't want that quality for me. The quality that I want it to be a good quality. So I had to change. We had to do research and find different platforms now to do it on a better quality, stuff like that.
Hello and welcome to Obehi Podcast. I'm your host, Obehi A14, and I strongly believe that everyone has a story to share. Now let's get started with this episode.
So, I mean, it's just getting the hang of it while we're experiencing that, seeing what works and what doesn't, and find out how to fix it while we're doing it. So we're not just podcasting and not looking at what comes with it. Look at the nuisances, what needs to be fixed, what needs to be worked on, the questions that need to be asked. How do I now move from this stage to the other? Now I'm in season 3. Or is it season 4? I'm in season 4 actually. And I'm going to season 5 next year. So, I mean, I've just had to learn growth because I've grown from season 1 to now. I have actually grown a lot. So things that probably used to bother me before doesn't bother me now because I've fixed it. I've redefined it and I've grown from it. Yeah. So I'm not saying starting the podcast, we're not going to have problems or there are not going to be some certain issues because I cried over them. I cried because I was disappointed. I cried because it wasn't what I wanted, or where I wanted it to be. Because, yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot too. But I mean, it's something that I love doing. So I push until I get where I am.
All right, you push to get where you are, and I love that. But in those moments when it's not coming on, when you cry, then what do you do? How do you manage to pass that? You don't stop, no?
No.
Why you don't stop?
Because it's something I love doing, and stopping means I'm a failure. So there are times when I've put out things before, and like I've heard my brother or sister say, "Hey, something was wrong with that part," and I'm there. Oh my God, it's out. What do I do? What do I do? And I start panicking and I start fretting, and I've learned to I'll take it down. Even if it's stay up all night and fix it and put it right back up. And I need to do that. I mean, I do what I need to do to get it done. So even though it affected me, I'm not going to let it fit my work. I have learned to work throughout everything. Yes, I'm affected and I'm going to give myself a couple of minutes to cry. But after I give myself that couple of minutes to cry, the work, it still goes on. Life still goes on. So it's picking up yourself and continuing and making the best of whatever it is, fixing it and moving on. Nobody wants to listen to someone who, as something happens, to break down and they cry and they can't do a podcast again and they can't record again. It means that you don't love what you're doing. So if it is that you don't love what you're doing, why is it I'm expecting people to listen and love what I'm doing? No.
The Unfiltered Podcast.
Yes.
You see, I really love that. I like the way you put them together. It's Unfiltered. All right. Now, I'm trying to understand. Now that you try and you try and you try, do you remember the particular episode that you go to and you say, yes, this thing can work? You remember that moment in it?
I knew it can work from the get-go. I'm trying to think if there's an episode that I can remember. I think it's after season 1 or during season 1. When I just started, I was wondering, should I just not do this anymore? Like after the first and second episode. And especially when you're depending on your own people to listen to it. The truth is, your own people don't really support. It's other people that do. And I think it's after season 1, I was like, it's something I can do without always wondering if I'm supposed to run away from this, if it's just something I'm to drop and not do again. And then I looked and I was like, I did so much work in season 1. I'm not gonna pull the plug. I'm just gonna continue. I mean, what I have done for myself is to pace myself in how I'm doing it. So I put out an episode every week. Putting out an episode every week doesn't mean that I do it I started looking for people last week to put it out this week. I'm doing that for months now. So I have episodes in lined up for me. That's how I do it. That's how I work on it. Because at the beginning, it was looking for people every week to do it the following week. And for me, that didn't work. And that's what caused part of my problem. Is how I was scheduling my episodes. So I would now be in a state of panic to get my episode out. And if I don't have anyone, it's a problem. And that was the main cause for me. And that's why I'm saying it's not a particular episode that said, aha, I think I can do this. I knew I could do my podcast from the get-go. I'm that type of person. I can capture people by having a conversation with them. I am not even, it's not that I'm boasting about it, but I know what I'm capable of. And it's something that I've been doing before. So it's not new to me at all. It's not new to me to have conversations. It's not new to me to get off and go. No matter what I'm going to do, they're always going to be rocky roads. So that wasn't new to me. What was new to me was doing things now with my name and not my dad's name. If it is that my dad's name was there, I'd have more people listening because my dad was the one that was famous. My dad was the one that was known. So now I was doing something on my own without my father's name. So now I had to work 3 times harder to get something out. And that was a struggle for me. So it wasn't a fact of, oh, I can't do it. It was a fact of, oh, I'm doing it on my own now, not attached to my dad's name. And that's why I call myself Jade. I don't call myself Gloria Adegold. I call myself Jade. That's a part of the reason for doing that. But yeah, I always knew that I'd be good at the podcasting. It's just some little things that I had to work out to be comfortable with myself now being the person that's putting myself out and not doing it and using somebody else's name to get where I want to go. That was really the hard part for me.
And that is really lovely. I know, I think it was last year I was writing a script for the podcast, which of course I did one of the episodes. I was talking of the importance of standing out, no? Then of course somebody might misunderstand the thinking that, okay, there is a saying that to grow a child, it takes the community. And this is true. In fact, we even live in a community. Africa is basically a community-based people of culture, as it were. But you really need to stand out if you need to amount to something substantial.
Yes.
Then I was making an example of maybe Martin Luther King and even President Obama, no? That in the United States, the people, without the African American, they would not become president or who they become. For example, Martin Luther King. But you remember that when the guy, James Erie, that's his name, that shot Martin Luther King, when he came to shoot him, he didn't shoot the community. He shot a man.
Yes.
He basically aimed at a man and he shot him. The man died. The community didn't die. The community continued to live. So what it basically means is that if you take that analogy to the forest, you will see a lot of trees, but all of them are not the same.
No.
Each of them have an identity. Of course, you just have to have your eyes to be able to see it. So when we live also in a human society, we should not be afraid to be seen. Of course, to be seen means you are also responsible for how you come out. Because I really like it when you were saying that now, this time, you are not studying the name of your father anymore, but in your name. You come out now, you are doing it in your name.
Yes.
That is very risky for a lot of people to stand for yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested in the feeling. How do you feel about that?
I feel good about it. I'm actually doing something for myself. I was saying to my husband a couple of weeks ago, it feels strange sometimes because my father opened me up to, entertainment, to radio, to all of that. So while doing things, I've always had him, doing it. And, they know it's Bishop Adegold. That's it's his daughter and his daughter doing this, his daughter doing that. I don't want to be called his daughter anymore. I'm his daughter, but I also am a person. And he always said to me, you're not just a daughter, you are an individual also.
If you enjoy this podcast, make sure you subscribe so you never miss any of our future episodes. Rate and review Obehi Podcast and share with your friends who might need it. I remain Obehi Ewafo. Thank you so much for listening. I'll talk to you in the next episode.